Good evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, we conclude our coverage from Tullahoma's Veterans Day ceremony. Lane Curley gave a Tullahoma history presentation, and burn bans are in effect for Coffee County and the surrounding areas. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. The keynote speaker at Tullahoma's Veterans Day ceremony was AEDC Base Commander Colonel Randall Gordon. Here we bring you the conclusion of his address.
So for all those reasons, I look around and I go, for Veterans Day, I go, this is the time where we celebrate who we are, what we have done to serve our nation, our flag, and the fact that we have meetings like this all together. I look and I go, this is what makes America great, frankly. This is why I love Tullahoma so much, because we do these types of things. We take moments out to be together and to think about these things and to celebrate those sorts of things. But especially now, just given how dangerous the world has become, all of those things mean more and more and more to all of us, really, because this isn't some hypothetical thing. You turn on CNN or Fox News or whatever you listen to or whatever you watch, and you see it every day. And so in a certain sense, although I would never say I'm grateful for any of those things, in a certain sense I say as a military commander, I want to use those things. I want to use those things to invigorate people, to inspire folks as to why the service to our nation is so important. The fact that there are nations around the world that do not believe in freedom and democracy in the way that we do. And if given the chance, they view this time as their time to be able to create their worldview. They look at the United States, frankly, from the outside looking in. They look at us in the same way that perhaps we look at, say, the Roman Empire at one time, or the British Empire at one time. In other words, it was powerful, and now that power wanes, and now it's their time to come onto the stage. And so long as we're serving, we're not going to let that happen, period. So I really, really am grateful to be in this room with y'all. As was mentioned earlier, so few of us actually served. Some of y'all might remember what we were talking about last time, where I told you I got a chance to hear Tom Brokaw talk about the greatest generation and describe how we are nowadays, where less than 1% of us serve. And I thought about what he told me, and it never ever left my mind, because it talks about just how elite this group is and what we are a part of. The last thing I'll give you, because I know this is something that's weighing on my heart as well, one of the other kind of major things that have happened, is there's a sense that our military has gotten weak. And again, you see that in a lot of different news venues. It's kind of in the culture, those things that come across. I've received some questions about, hey, is the U.S. military woke, right? I've heard that term many, many times. I'm speaking on behalf of AEDC, but I can also say this is true of the U.S. military and all the different venues that I've been a part of. And I've seen things from the Secretary of the Air Force, the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, all the way down. That's kind of what you get a chance to do when you serve the men and women of AEDC as a commander. You get a chance to kind of listen to how our senior leadership talks about these sorts of things. And here's what I've observed, and I believe this every day. When I drive to work every day on Wattendorf, and we come in through the gate, I tell myself this, and I make it a point to tell the men and women that serve at AEDC, you are not driving to work. You are arriving for a calling. Our nation needs you. There is only one Arnold. There is no other Arnold anywhere within the free world, period, dot. And in that scenario, there's two things that we focus on, period, dot. We focus on how are we developing our leaders of character, because the nation needs that. Doesn't matter if they're continuing to serve in the military, if they go on beyond that, we need leaders leaders, ethical, moral, leaders of character. And the second thing is, everything we're developing is lethal. And that might sound a little bit of a strong word, but it's intentionally given. Because if we're not scary to the adversary, then we are inviting aggression from people that don't have the same values and beliefs that we do. So everything we build at AEDC is designed solely for the purpose of scaring the adversary. And there are some things that we put on the table to let them know, kind of like what Jimmy Stewart did when he made that movie about Strategic Air Command and they filmed the inside of a B-36, mainly to give an audience to Russia to say, knock it off. And there are some things that we keep up our sleeve so that we don't talk about that, so that we leave the adversary guessing and wondering. And if that's true, then we keep peace. And that's what we're really all about. So thank you for having me here. I am so honored to be here. Thanks again for inviting us, and happy Veterans Day.
Despite some recent rain, drought conditions are serious in Coffee County. Several nearby counties are under a burn ban. Franklin, Grundy, Morgan, Rutherford, Sequatchie, and Williamson counties are all observing a burn ban due to drought conditions. Under state law, the Commissioner of Agriculture, in consultation with the state forester, has the authority to issue burn bans at the request of county mayors under certain weather conditions. The request by county mayors is completed following mutual agreement with the Tennessee Division of Forestry's district forester, whose district includes that county. The bans apply to all open-air burning, including leaf and woody debris, and construction burning, campfires, outdoor grills, and other fire activity outside of municipalities where local ordinances apply. Burning permits focus attention on the safe use of fire. From October 15th through May 15th, anyone starting an open-air fire within 500 feet of a forest, grassland, or woodland must by law secure a burning permit from the Division of Forestry. Anyone needing to burn within an incorporated city should contact city authorities about any local burning ordinances. Tennessee Division of Forestry said, quote, "The Tennessee Division of Forestry would like to remind everyone to remain vigilant in preventing fires during this drought condition. Some things to remember: don't drive around on flat tires if you are pulling a trailer. Check and make sure your safety chains are not dragging and hit the pavement. Farmers taking the time to maintenance their equipment by checking bearings, pulleys, and gears. And last but not least, landowners must make sure that you are not burning. Trust me, those leaves can wait till we have received sufficient rainfall. And as Smokey the Bear always says, only you can prevent forest fires." End quote. And after these messages, we'll be right back.
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force.
Serving Tullahoma.
Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Welcome back. Former Tullahoma Mayor Lane Curley recently gave an informative presentation at the monthly Lunch and Learn event at D.W. Wilson. I was there and brought back video from the event.
Tullahoma's story, our story, begins in the 1840s, 180 years ago. Tullahoma was not even a wide place on the road. In fact, there were no suitable roads leading into town. Another fact, we didn't have a name. That will come a little later. The 1850 census listed 367 people in this little village. There was no post office, stores, or churches. The turning point came in 1848 when Nashville, Chattanooga, and the St. Louis Railroad announced a railroad would be built between Nashville and Chattanooga. The village of Tullahoma was chosen as a good location for a work camp for the railroad workers since it was nearly the halfway point and one of the highest elevations between Nashville and Chattanooga. The site upon which Tullahoma is built and the 5,000 adjacent acres were originally acquired by land speculators after the railroad announced it would run through Tullahoma. The land speculators, or founders, were men of character, learning, and distinction. Benjamin Deckard, in whose honor Deckard Street was named, General William Moore, for whom Moore Street was named, Dr. T.A. Anderson, a man of rare culture, learning, and travel, Colonel Pierce Anderson, his brother, a graduate of West Point, and Volney Stevenson. Volney Street was named for him. Anderson Street was named in honor of the two Anderson brothers. As the railroad construction workers neared the town, the land company opened the sale of Tullahoma lots. The first sale took place in August 1851. By the end of 1851, the town had its first commercial business, the store of James Grizzard, as well as the Lincoln Hotel. In 1852, a private school was established and a Methodist church opened its doors. On September 2nd, 1852, the 469 residents of this village petitioned the county government in Manchester for an official city charter. Colonel Anderson, the brains of the company, had vision beyond his time. Tullahoma's original streets were so even and wide, it was one of the few places that did not have to widen them upon the advent of the automobile era. Atlantic Street, appropriately given the slogan, "As wide as the Atlantic," contains a 100-foot right-of-way on either side of the railroad. It reached 350 feet in width, and before the creation of the interstate system, was listed in Ripley's Believe It or Not as the widest street in the world. It has never been doubted that the name Tullahoma has an Indian origin, but how did the town acquire its name and what does it mean? As much as we would like to say, and I did as mayor until I learned better, it does not mean land of gold and flowers. I always liked that one. Or an Indian maiden, but that's not the case. In the 1830s, there was a Tullahoma, Mississippi. That village merged with an adjoining village to form Grenada, Mississippi. One of the founders of Tullahoma, Mississippi was a John McLemore of Memphis. In the early 1850s, McLemore visited one of his old friends, one of the founders of Tullahoma, Dr. Anderson. In discussing a name for the new town, he proposed the Indian words Tullahome, meaning red rock, as a name for the little village. Founders Dr. Anderson and his brother Colonel Anderson are both buried in Oakwood Cemetery. A plaque there honors their role in the development of Tullahoma. In 1855, the railroad finished construction of the McMinnville branch. This new rail line provided access to markets for the region's hundreds of farms. Wheat, flax, corn, and cotton arrived in town by the wagon loads. The town also became a shipping point for livestock. The First Baptist Church was founded in 1857. The first recorded city officials were elected in 1857, and C.C. Carter became the first mayor. Judge Connolly actually swore in. And he has a picture to prove it.
And we will air more portions of the Lunch and Learn event on next week's news. Stay with us, more news is coming up in just a moment.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country and the United States Air Force.
Serving Tullahoma.
Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
Welcome back. In this week's edition of Coffee County Mayor Judd Matheny's Mayor's Message, Judd sits down with Coffee County Commissioner Joey Hobbs.
Well, this is Coffee County Mayor Judd Matheny, and welcome to this edition of the Mayor's Message. Once again, we have a great public servant with us and friend, Joey Hobbs. And Joey's from here in Manchester. He wears a couple of major hats in public service. One is he is an alderman for the city of Manchester, and he's also a Coffee County Commissioner. And he serves on many committees, and he's a great budgetary finance mind. That's what I love most about him, and he does a very good job there. But Joey, tell folks in Coffee County a little bit about why you got into politics, what your passions are, and maybe a little bit about your background, what you like to do besides politics, and things like that, just so they get to know you a little deeper.
So yeah, I got into politics. I guess this is my second term as a commissioner. And first term as an alderman, and it was just something I felt the need to help try to figure out how to direct or guide the county and the city. We've got a lot of growth potentials and a lot of things, and my background, I was at Ravago Manufacturing for 22 years and then various roles there, and get to use a lot of those experiences to help and do what I think is good for the city and county.
Now, if I'm correct, Ravago made extruded plastic pellets for fibers for automotive, mostly for automotive industry.
Yeah, they're a unique industry. They do a lot of plastic compounding. They're one of two recyclers in the world who take carpet and actually get the nylon back out of it, and it goes into a lot of automotive applications, which is green.
Yep.
So
it's great.
Yep.
It's great to have that here in Manchester. We have so many industries in Manchester that support the automotive industry. Him being an alderman and a commissioner both is actually a real asset, because it gives us a direct liaison to the city. And you know, we don't need to operate as insulated governments, Tullahoma and Manchester and Coffee County. We really need to be fused together. Joey's able to do that. I think, tell us what committees you sit on, please.
So in the city, I sit on budget and finance, I sit on the safety committee, and I sit on the tourism committee.
That's great. And in the county?
County, I do just the budget and finance. When we were doing all the selections, remember we kind of talked about that, and you guys were gracious enough to give me some time to serve more in the city. But I've served on budget and finance both terms, and there again, like you were talking, that's my passion. I enjoy numbers.
That's good, and I've really learned that about him for last year, and learned to respect that. And he brings a great perspective. You know, I have some experiences in one form of government, but local government is different. Yeah. It absolutely is, and it's a learning process. And Joey's been great to help me with that, and he's been great in so many other aspects too. And now, right now, what are you doing in the real world?
So I retired from Ravago in January, and now I'm just a general contractor. I build houses here in Coffee County.
Homes by Hobbs.
Homes by Hobbs. You know, we have quite a few projects going. Probably a little busier than I thought I would be, which is.
I can imagine with this area, we're super growth, right?
Super growth, yeah. I mean, you get to meet a lot of people in that as well that aren't from here that are moving into the area. So that's been good for me as well.
Well, as we know, the housing industry is just really probably going to stay very strong here with the new Coffee County Industrial Park, I-24 Industrial Park that the state is commissioning, which will close on this year, by the way. It's happening, but that's going to bring an extraordinary need for houses and other types of structures. We predict, you know, thousands and thousands of new jobs to be created in this county in this decade, and all the things that go with this. And not only is that going to help you personally, but from a political standpoint, we've got a big job.
Yeah.
We've got a big job to help this growth as much as we possibly can. It's going to hit us hard no matter what we do, but we have to plan. We have to purposely work with it and do the best we can. So it's our work's cut out for us, man.
Yeah.
All of us have probably done a little bit of what needs to be done, but working together, we can all get it done. And I look forward to that very much.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'd like to give you a shout out, right? I mean, in your first term, I think you're doing some good things, and, you know, bring a lot of different perspectives to the county for growth and different ways to handle that growth, and shown to be a good leader for the community. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And I enjoy people helping me do a good job too. And and you really do. Thank you. I appreciate you, Joey, and I know the voters appreciate you. If you need to get a hold of Commissioner/Alderman Hobbs, you can go to the City of Manchester's website, or you can go to the Coffee County Government website, or as always, you can call me at 931-723-5100, and I'll be able to get a hold of Commissioner Hobbs very quickly. Yep. Thank you so much for joining us on the Mayor's Message, and we'll see you next time.
We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
We tend to lose our motivation when we have something that's chronic, but you've got to do what you can early on as you can. After I'd exercise like that, I would have a lot of energy to do housework or whatever I needed. Well, I would recommend it highly to anyone at any degree of Parkinson.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Fran Gray with Alzheimer's Tennessee. When you receive a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease for yourself or someone you love, please know that you do not have to go through this journey alone. Alzheimer's Tennessee is here for you to provide support and education, all the help you may need to get through this challenge. Our number is 931-434-2348. We encourage you to give us a call. We're here to help.
Welcome back. Katie Wright is the Executive Director of the Don't Drive Drowsy Foundation, a nonprofit organization focused on educating teens on the dangers of driving sleep impaired and the need for a healthy amount of sleep. The tragic death of her 17-year-old nephew to a sleeping driver brought with it the realization that deaths due to drowsy driving occur far too frequently and with proper education are entirely preventable. After retiring from teaching, Ms. Wright began speaking at local driving schools and has been doing so for the last 11 years. The Don't Drive Drowsy Foundation speaks at high schools and driving schools across Tennessee to spread this much-needed message. There is no greater risk to the driver and other drivers on the road than for the driver to be asleep. Ms. Wright received the Making a Difference Award from Tennessee Highway Safety Office in 2019 for her work towards ending the deadly practice of driving while sleep impaired. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates there are 1.2 million fatigued driving crashes every year and 83.6 million sleepy drivers on the road every day. This video, prepared by the Don't Drive Drowsy Foundation, along with the Tennessee Department of Safety, explains some of the excuses and dangers.
Why can't I get enough sleep? A better question, how can I?
I'm under a lot of pressure and I'm taking high-level courses. If I slip on my grades, I slip on my future. I have to get straight A's if I expect to get into med school. My mom would be so disappointed if I didn't make it.
Everyone knows the best gossip spills after midnight. I'm not missing out. If I'm not in the group chat, I'll be out of the loop. Then before you know it, I'll get dropped from the group. I can't just ignore the girls like that.
I love gaming. All my friends are online, so I'd be lame to sign off early.
After school, I have football practice till 6, and then that's if coach doesn't make me run extra laps. Then I hit the gym. I can't miss leg day. Absolutely nothing. Cannot miss leg day. But when I'm done, I have homework, and I'm doing that for a few hours, and then I just sleep when I sleep.
When I'm not studying, I'm working. I'm never in bed before midnight. I have to be up by 5 a.m. every morning for the bus because we live so far away. I drink so many energy drinks just to keep up.
It's not that I'm procrastinating on homework. There's just not enough time in the day. By the time I get around to writing that essay, it's after midnight. And I have to be up at the crack of dawn to get ready for school. Do you know how long it takes to do a full face of makeup? And my hair? Don't get me started. So yeah, I'm up early every morning.
But even if I tried to sleep, I can't. I spend hours tossing and turning in bed, so I get back online. Some nights, I don't sleep at all. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe I'm depressed. I don't know. I just can't sleep. When I wake up in the mornings, I feel like a zombie.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Most car crashes happen close to home. Drowsy driving crashes occur most often between midnight and 6 a.m. or late afternoon. Even if you think you can make it, the fatigue can be too overwhelming. If your body is shutting down, you aren't in control. Coffee and energy drinks won't help. Blasting the music or air conditioning doesn't help either. Your body needs sufficient sleep to maintain your overall health. If you are having trouble sleeping, seek medical resources and assistance. Communicate with your parents or guardians. You can't catch up on lost sleep. You must prioritize your sleep. Work on time management. Put your phone away before bed. Schedule breaks when driving and stop every 2 hours for a break. Stretch and move around. Ride with a friend, someone that can say, "Hey, are you okay? Do you want me to drive?" Vehicles with at least one passenger are less likely to be involved in a crash. Drowsy driving is a serious issue that deserves your attention.
Stay with us. We'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
Hi, my name is Ringo, here at Barkview Senior Living. They're human-friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Barkview. Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force.
Serving Tullahoma.
Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1973 at 78 degrees. Record low was in 1937 at 17 degrees. Average high for this day is 57, and the average low is 35. Cloudy for tonight with a low of 36. Partly cloudy for Friday with a high of 57 and a low of 36. And mostly sunny skies for Saturday with a high of 57 and a low of 37. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evenings at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader. Stay safe and have a great evening.